Hello and welcome to another YesAuto video with a bit of a difference this time because I'm not driving a Mercedes-Benz car, instead a Mercedes-Benz van, and today we're going to go through the 5 things that you should really consider before buying a new van. Now it might sound a bit obvious, but one of the first things you really need to consider is how big or small a van you need, because obviously having a van that's too small for the job simply won't fit the cargo you want to carry, but having a van that's too big causes all sorts of issues with efficiency or maybe even access to where you need to go. You can have a van in just about every flavour imaginable: short wheelbase, long wheelbase, high tops, flatbeds, you name it, you can have it. This high-top Sprinter, for example, is ideal for loading really sizable cargo. But a vehicle of this size probably wouldn't be all that much fun to be a courier hopping from street to street. The next thing to think about is loading your van, and this is all about doors and access. Have a think about how you're going to use the van, because as a tradesperson you might be hopping in and out of it quite a lot. So side-loading doors where you can get into it from the pavement is going to be really beneficial. Equally, if you're going to be taking advantage of a high-top van, those floor-to-ceiling doors at the rear are going to be an absolute godsend when you've got to load something like a bed or a fridge freezer into the back. Keep an eye out for vans that have nifty features like double-hinged doors at the rear that can fold back on themselves to save space when loading. And then you have your all-important anchor points for tying things down, which are an absolute essential if you're hauling heavy objects. Something else to think about is efficiency, because if you're running a fleet of vans that say, the difference between filling up and saving a tenner at the pumps or going 50-60 miles further is the difference between a profit or a loss at the end of the day. And in the same breath, if you're an urban courier, you're going to be wanting something that's efficient in slower traffic. So whether it's a big efficient diesel engine or a small capacity petrol engine for a smaller van, there's plenty out there to choose from, but it is really important to make the correct choice that's most appropriate for you. Joining a lineup of traditional petrol and diesel vans is a new breed of electric vans, such as, say, the Mercedes-Benz eVito. These new EVs are going to be efficient and far cleaner when delivering in the urban environment. Now, there is never a good time to have a prang in any vehicle, be it a proper shunt or a bit of a tap against a wall as a door blows open in the wind. That's especially true of vans, because a van that's off the road getting repaired is a van that's not making any money, or in fact costing its owner money. Do some homework on the cost of repairs and the potential lead time for things like replacement panels, particularly doors. If you can minimise the amount of time that your van's off the road, it's all the better for the business. Now, this last point might seem trivial, but it's arguably one of the most important of the bunch, and that's comfort. It might seem silly that a commercial vehicle should have to be comfortable, because at the end of the day its job is to load things around, not chauffeur the driver. But if you think about it, this space is the driver's office. He or she's going to spend a heck of a lot of time in here, so you're going to want it to be comfortable over long distances, with reasonably supple suspension and steering that's quite light, so it's not so much of an effort to manoeuvre. You don't want to have to manhandle a vehicle all day long. This Mercedes Sprinter is a really good example, because not only are these seats moulded really nicely, but you also get nice technological touches that makes life easier as well. Stuff like this big old widescreen that makes using the navigation even easier, and a reversing camera, which is ideal for manoeuvring in those tight spots that you might have to deliver in. You know, it's amazing when you stop and think about it that almost every letter or package that ends up at your door has been delivered by van at some point on its journey. And that's pretty incredible. It highlights what an essential part of life vans are. So here's to the van drivers and the important work they do. Head to YesAuto.com for the latest car news and reviews, and don't forget to check us out on social media. We're in all the usual places such as Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Simply search for YesAuto.